Okay, all right. Let's start off with this. How do you phrase stories, though? Like,
What do you mean?
Relevancy, right? It has to be relevant at the end of the day. When you go up on stage, if it's not relevant to people are not going to go ahead and enjoy it.
Yes and no, but I feel like the relevancy works on various levels, right? Like I mean, there's one level of relevance is current affairs. Right? That's what TikTok is. Right? It's just like जो चल रहा है वो बता दो जल्दी. Let's move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
But like there's the concept of now Ras as well, right? Like there are every human emotion is like there are 9 central emotions to everything, right? Or fuck it, whatever. But like there's core level human, like there is the human experience. So even if you're talking about something that's completely fucking vague and red, as long as it comes back to that central emotion, it's gonna work. Because you might not know the exact thing I'm talking about, but for example, everyone knows fear. Everyone knows rejection. Everyone knows anger. Everyone knows loss. So these are things that we all have in common.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I learned this when my grandfather passed away. My grandfather was like one of my favorite people on the planet. And he just like one day he's not there anymore. Right? Death is a weird thing to deal with on its own. And I was lucky because I had comedy. So he died on a Thursday. On Monday I was on stage talking about it. And I was not talking about it like, hey, dekh mere nana mar gaye. You know what I mean? It was like just me trying to make sense of what's happening by talking to a room full of strangers. Because it's not like I can go to my mom and say the things that I'm thinking, right?
Yeah.
So I realized when I started doing those jokes where like I could see the audience, like I was tearing up, the audience was tearing up. Everybody was in the same space. They were laughing when I was making jokes and they were crying with me when I was crying as well.
Yeah.
And I felt like, oh man, everyone in this room is not laughing at me. They're not laughing at a situation. They're laughing. This is a I know what you mean laugh.
I feel you.
I feel you. I've been there. I know loss. You know loss. And yes, even I don't know how to deal with loss. So we might as well laugh about it. Because at the end of the day, laughing about something is taking control on that situation, right? Like, why do we make dark jokes, dude? Why do we make morbid, horrible jokes all the time? Because we know that there are morbid, horrible things in the world that we can never change. So by laughing at it, you're making the thing powerless. So I feel like that's how you pick relevancy. And I talk about what random shit. Have you seen my videos, dude? मैं बगल का पसीने के बारे में बात कर रहा हूँ. I don't give a like, that's why the handle is Kuch Bhi Mehta, right? Because I feel like the world is chaos and the only appropriate response is absurdism. That's the only, because the world is absurd. What the fuck is it?
It's
like,
crazy.
what's happening right now? Like, this 4 people talking in room, whoever, मैं उड़ के आज guys. मैं उड़ा है.
Business class. Business class. Don't forget that.
That's a whole different trip. That's a whole different trip.
Man, you posted like 4 Instagram stories. I remember I was just looking at it and I was like, man, you saw everybody were coming here for Tirth Yatra?
Yeah.
You saw that? How did that make you feel?
Man, that was...
in between all of them.
No, I mean, I don't mind it, dude. It was just a lot of, like, it felt like I only have one grandparent left. So it was like, oh my God, sab jagah pe dada dadi. Like, it's like, because they're all old and
there is replacement.
And like, I'm standing in line, okay? I'm standing in line minding my own shit, okay? It's the cutest shit ever, okay? These people are from Rajasthan. They've never been to Delhi also. I mean, this is the first time they've left Rajasthan.
Never left.
Straight up from the village, right?
Yeah.
And they are having the time of their life. And it's just so nice to see someone happy, right? You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, this uncle just walks up to me for no reason and he says, "Beta, jara mera roaming thik kar do yaar."
That's too adorable.
Yeah, and I'm like, on one level, I'm like, "Tu kaun hai?" And on the other level, I'm like, "Ha, de do dadaji, de do yaar." So I fix his roaming. Then I fix 2 more people's roaming. Okay.
वो जाके बताया.
वो सबको बताया.
ये fix कर लेता है.
So then I realized ये तो नहीं होएगा. तो next 2 uncle को मैंने सिखा दिया. You only go and proliferate this information. Then there's some foreigners white people are there near me. They are also behind me in line. This auntie is on video call with her daughter, okay? And you know how it is on video? Like the daughter is like eating some shit and all, just fucking sitting at home. And she's like, "Dekh, idhar kaun hai?" And she just like points the camera in the face of the white girl and says, "Dekh." And the lady's like, "Arey." And I don't know what the fascination was, but they were. Then they took 19 people took selfies with that woman for no reason, except that she's white. That's it. It was so weird, dude. It was so weird and also endearing.
Did you do that too?
What? Take a selfie? No. I thought of taking one photo and saying, "Look, new Nana," but then, it would have been rude.
No, how did it make you feel though?
What?
Not the selfie, and then flying down in like as soon as you go and see Kathmandu.
When I was boarding, I was on call with these guys, and they were like, I was like telling them ki these guys are going to Pashupati. And he was like, do you want to go to Pashupati? And I was like, not too inclined to do the Pashupati thing. And and then I sat in the flight, bro, and the turbulence. What? And now I have to go to Pashupati. I made a promise on that flight. I said, just pahuncha de bas, please. And the casuality, like everyone's so used to this turbulence somehow.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
Yeah. Beer gir raha hai mera. Like it's not. Like sometimes you go to like a war torn. Like it's like when you're in the US, people don't even flinch at gunshots in the distance. Yeah, because they're so used to that shit, right?
Kind of depends on where you are, but kind of.
Yeah, bro. But मैं तो मतलब मेरे life में तो मैं जितना भी gunshot US में सुना है सिर्फ मेरा ही फटा है. Like the first time I was in New York, I did a bit about this. This is one of my first videos. When I was in New York, I heard gunshots and I genuinely thought it was pataka. Like I thought it was fireworks, dude. Because like I'm
Diwali
not.
aa gaya.
हाँ, टक हो रहा था कहीं पे दूर पे. And I was like, oh wow, Diwali! Like in August. What the fuck?
Yeah, this don't. I mean, well, we don't go through that. We are not even allowed to go out and like have fireworks anymore.
Oh yeah, how come?
Yeah, well, we kind of stopped back in the day. I believe once the war was kind of like getting over, we kind of stopped it, and then it never happened. It never happened.
Traumatizing.
We dealt with
Still
PTSD.
have it. We still have it, right? We still have it towards Diwali, but
No,
But
not
we
at
have to-
weddings and.
Actually, we have to separate it from borders from India.
Hey, Bihar is there for you, man.
Yeah.
we still have it, but not to the extent of like what you
But
guys.
if the cops find out, they'll take it away.
Yeah.
So how did you hear about? So what have you heard about the Nepali comedy scene?
Yeah, whatever. Nothing. I've heard nothing about the Nepali comedy scene.
What Nepali comedy?
I did a very quick introductory course on the flight. I downloaded whatever 6 videos I could find online, and I watched all of them. And what I liked is कि वही बात चल रहा है इधर भी. मैं single है, मैं गरीब है.
Yeah.
Like it's just the
The
same
middle
shit.
class,
Yeah.
I'm middle class.
Same. Again, human condition, right? What are you gonna do? It's all involved, and it's so beautiful to me because like every country I go to, right? Like, and when you're growing up, like I don't know if you all have this, but we have that colonial hangover, right? Like, oh, gore log, like white people must be something, right? Especially y'all don't really have it because like you see the riffraff white people, right? Like यहाँ पे सब hippie लोग आते रहेंगे ना trek करने के लिए. Like you never had like an overlord white person. So for us that whole thing of what they're doing out there is much better than what we are doing right here.
It has stayed.
Huh?
It has stayed. It has kind of stayed.
Yeah, it's there. It's very strong. And then when you go there and you see what the comedians there are doing, you're like, this fucking shit you're doing, bro. Like, I am way better than you. Yeah, because I tell you why. This is something I think Nepali people and us, we all share in common.
Yeah.
Okay? Most people in India speak at least bare minimum 2 languages. Right? यहाँ पे नेपाल में भी I'm sure people at least speak 2 languages, right? Or at least understand 2 languages.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, maybe one more. Yeah,
Right? Minimum 2 रहेगा और उसके ऊपर फिर अपने ऊपर है. And I feel like that it just rewires your brain weird,
It does.
which white people can't do.
Yeah.
Right? Like I was in Australia.
Amused by anything.
Yeah, like I was in Australia, right? And when I went, my friends were like, "Oh, they have this subtle racism there, right?" Like, and I didn't really buy it. And then every time I would go on stage, somebody would say some kind of racist shit when they called me on stage.
Oh.
Right, like this one guy was like, this next comedian has 80,000 followers on Instagram, and guess what? None of them speak English. And I'm like,
why would you say that?
Yeah. And the room full of white people. And I'm like, so then I went back on stage and I said, there are more English speakers in India than there are anywhere else. Secondly, you should be learning Hindi.
It's coming.
It's coming. Back coming. So I do this bit on Pakistan right now. Like I'm very obsessed with the history of generally with history, but like I recently went to the Partition Museum in Amritsar, and
where is this?
In Amritsar we have this Partition Museum. So Amritsar is the first city on the way from Pakistan to India, right?
Is that where the
Golden Temple is?
Okay, that's where the Golden Temple is. Where's the part where there's the crossing?
That's close by. Attari border. Wagah border is right there as well.
Okay.
So I mean, I started looking up more on Pakistan, researching more about the history.
Yeah.
10% of Pakistan's national income is remittances. It's people working abroad who are bringing money in. 10% is a lot. Okay.
We have heard of it.
Yeah. Y'all also probably
It's all, yeah.
have a pretty close, right?
Yeah. We survive on remittance.
For a lot of developed countries like Germany is at like 0.8 or something like that. India is pretty high as well. But the difference is India ka primary export is people. Right? Like, what do we make more than anybody else in the world? People. We make people. We are a people company.
You say that? You feel
The
that?
manufacturers.
Yeah, we export people, man. Like, I mean, the amount of people we have in this country, right? You look at most developed nations. Okay, like they'll have Indian engineers, Indian doctors, Indian IT guys. Everywhere you go.
Best product, Satya Nadella.
Yeah, there you go. Pre-packaged, bro. Satya Nadella Pro Max.
So the point being?
So the point being, like for India to have a high remittance percentage makes sense. You know what I mean? But when Pakistan has it, I feel like, guys, tum theek ho na? Like, is everything okay?
Hey, sir, तो कौन सा is highest remittance?
Isn't that your bit when you say like you read the history on India-Pakistan war and like unke like they won in their textbook?
No, that's not my bit.
Okay. I thought it was yours. Sorry.
No. That's too basic a joke for me.
No, it was so long ago. So.
How did you hear about Aayush and Yojana?
Her I heard about because I think you had gone to Delhi.
Yeah.
And everyone
we both were in Delhi.
You heard because she opened for Daniel through Zoom during the pandemic.
No, that's not what I heard. I just like when I said I'm going to Delhi, everyone was like, "Oh, dude, get that girl to open because she's damn funny."
Ah, nice.
So which is big props because the Delhi scene does not usually give good reviews to anything.
It was
was
really
difficult.
scary. Very
How was it, Yozana? How was it?
It was okay actually because like so सुरुमा मलाई जानुको लागि चाहिँ before I went I did like about 20 open mics on the Zoom and I got really good response and I was like, oh damn, I'm funny, I can kill it there. Then I went to Delhi and then it was very scary because actual people don't really laugh, they're just looking at you and then they're judging you. Delhi people is very hard to please.
Yeah. You should try next time you're down, drop by to Bombay as well because I feel like with India it's like, I mean, we're a subcontinent, bro. It's like a country, but it's a like culturally there's a huge difference between cities, you know.
Yeah.
So if Delhi doesn't really fit your style, then check out Bangalore or check out
maybe Bangalore would, maybe Bombay would,
maybe Hyderabad would, maybe Ahmedabad would. You know?
The one open mic was good. Depot 48.
Yeah, that's my room, man. I run that room.
Really?
Yeah, that's my room.
You
that's
weren't
Lasun
there.
Live. Yeah, but it's Lasun Live ka room. Like my company runs that room. Yeah, Pal
It
is
was
our
good.
Yeah,
third guy.
Have you done in India as well, Aayush?
Yeah. We went.
So
We
you guys
also
went
did
together,
Nepal.
right?
Yeah.
How was your experience?
It was fun. I understood that they like. I don't have to change my jokes that much.
Yeah.
Right. So they get the joke. It was I could feel that the audience is much more educated on comedy.
Yeah.
Right. So that was easier. The difficult part was getting the audience to the room.
The best thing about Delhi was how well settled the comedy scene is.
Yeah.
And that made us feel very jealous actually because we don't have it here.
So see, like anytime, at any day, there is a room available and there are audience in the room, even if it's just 5 audiences.
Yeah.
So here we have to like organize a show every 2 weeks, right? And there's nothing in between those 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest difference.
Aakash, you're one of the first person who's come to my podcast who's definitely from India, and definitely India has pioneered the comedy scene. That's how I'm going to go ahead and say it. As of now, like from my perspective, right, coming from here, right, you guys have pioneered it because we look at your content. A lot of the guys that I know look at the not just yours, but specific content, right, from India. So that's a source of inspiration too. How did you guys start off? Like, if you had to
Russell
go ahead and,
Peters. Every Southeast,
Russell.
every Southeast
comic.
Asian. So there's 2 things. Like I like to highlight these 2 things. I think they're the 2 biggest things. For urban English speakers, Russell Peters was a huge impact, right? Because that was the first. Hey, he looks like me and he's funny, right? Like, and then the other thing for like the rest of us also. Like, I mean, I went to wherever, whether you are urban or not. There was this show called the Great Indian Laughter Challenge.
It was huge here too.
It was huge here too, right?
Yeah.
And Raju Srivastav and Sunil Pal and all of these guys. And I still feel like Raju Shrestha used to do comedy, which was like, I mean, it was avant-garde for its time. It was satire, and it was everything you could hope for from a comedian.
I used to recite Shrivastava.
Same, bro.
Yeah.
Same. We would watch it, and then next day in school you would come and be like, bro,
Yeah.
तेरे को पता क्या मस्त joke बोला था कल Raju Shrestha, and then you recite it verbatim somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, that was really like, on a cultural level, that's what brought about a sense of, oh, this is a thing. And then my brother happened to study abroad. So when he came back, every time he came back, he would bring this giant 256 GB hard disk. Itna bada tha wo. And it needed a separate adapter and a nuclear power plant now to get it work. And he had Comedy Central Presents karke, there's a show there. They do half an hour specials for comedians, and he had 14 seasons of Comedy Central Presents. So
beginning from Dave Chappelle's The Whole 9 Yards or everything?
OG, like from season 1 to season 14, 15, whatever it was. And I just sat and as a kid, this is even before Russell Peters, this is even before Great Indian Laughter Challenge. I would just watch and I didn't understand half the jokes more than I'm like 11, 12 years old. But the sheer, just the idea of this person on stage, and they are just like, they're just talking, dude. And people are
enjoying it.
Yeah, and I am enjoying. Like, I don't even understand what's happening. It's just a mysticism around it almost, right? Like this supernatural. This. I mean, for me, Mitch Hedberg was a massive inspiration in my life. Still is. More for the comedy, less for the heroin. And
For me, both.
But like, so, you know, and he's a one-liner comic, you know, wears glasses, shades, doesn't even look at the audience. Like half the time he's just fucking looking down and talking.
Great writing.
And such
Just great
phenomenal, like just like, wow, I didn't know that words could be put this way in an order like this, you know. So I think those things sort of came together. Plus, I was a very fat kid. So humor was the first defense mechanism you learn at that point. I think those things sort of came together. And then, I mean, 2010, 9, you know, I mean, Veer had come back to India. I think a lot of people independently also, Bangalore, there was a scene starting. Delhi, there was a scene
Where
starting.
did you kind of start off from?
I mean,
Bangalore or Delhi?
You'd bro.
You never know.
Every city claims to be the first city.
Pop.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's actually done the research. I don't think, if you, maybe Bangalore, I think.
I'm sure documentaries are going to be made down the road.
One can hope.
Yeah.
I feel like there's not enough academic attention given to comedy in India because it's such a weird hybrid thing, right? Like, I mean, and it's not like India doesn't have a tradition of comedy. You know, we have a very long tradition of comedy. It's just in a very different form than what you're used to.
I saw a video of Johnny Lever back in the day
OG,
giving
bro.
a stand-up, like straight up microphone, him straight up. He's super young.
Yeah.
Bro, it's one of the best things I've watched. I'm not a comic, but it's one of the best things I've watched in my life.
I saw him live a few years ago. He had done a tour, and I think at this point he was 60 plus. Okay, does a 2-3 hour show.
3 hours?
Yeah, 2 hours to thai मेरे को याद है. And God, what an all-round guy, man. This guy at 60 is doing the Michael Jackson moves.
Yeah, that's what he was doing.
The whole fucking thing, dude. And I my brain couldn't comprehend, right? Like I'm sitting here maybe how many years into comedy, some dumb from Bombay, looking at this guy going, my God, this like, are you seeing this is a lifetime of work, right? Like it's a lifetime of effort playing itself out on stage, and all you can do is everybody else is watching it as an audience. You're watching it like, how are you doing this?
At 60.
Yeah, at 60, and also like just this effortlessness of it. You know what I mean?
Making it supernatural.
Yeah. So, uske bhi pehle, like in Gujarati, like I'm Gujarati, so like when you look at Gujarati, there are many prominent comedians in Gujarati as well. There's Dinkar Mehta, there's Shahabuddin Rathore. These people do it, but they do it very differently. They're not stand-up comedians per se. Stand-up is such a US thing. They sit, first of all, and they do something called daira, which is very different. So there'll be some poetry in the middle, there'll be some moral lessons in the middle, and then there'll be jokes in the middle, you know, and
slightly educated.
Casual misogyny too.
No, probably not educative, but like, and similarly, Maharashtrians have Vappu Kade. They have Pula Deshpande. Pula Deshpande was probably the first Indian to perform at Edinburgh. Edinburgh Fringe, and he did stand-up there. You know what I mean? And it's like, for them, it's more monologue than stand-up, but like it's still comedy, and people are laughing, and he pauses for them to finish laughing. That's stand-up. So we've been doing it. We've just been doing it very differently. Another thing is, culturally, we're not really the kind of people that can laugh at themselves. Right? Like the joke always has to be about some fictional third party. It can't be about us. And I feel like that's what this generation brought to the thing, where it's like now it's way more self-reflective and referential and inward-looking as well.
Broke the ice and is trying to go beyond the divide.
Yeah, on some level, right? Like, I mean, it goes from being pati ne patni se kaha to me and my wife were fighting, right?
Yeah,
So it brings it down from this hypothetical third party to a real, more day-to-day, like the switching of it from a joke to a first-person conversation is, I think, what we have sort of changed. Like, I mean, whenever I feel overwhelmed in my life, I clean my room, right? Because it gives me a sense of control over the space that I am in. And for some people, that control comes by choking someone out.
Yeah, cleaning room wasn't doing it.
Yeah. Dude, I strongly recommend, okay, if you're listening to this podcast or watching it or whatever, and you have a strong urge to kill someone, eat a jalebi. I feel like when you eat. No, I'm not making. If you guys have, is jalebis a part of Nepali life?
Yes,
Do you guys have those little mini jalebis that they make at weddings? You know the ones in India, you get them at weddings. You get little mini jalebis, okay? That crunchy. You put a jalebi in mouth, then what is this murder and all?
You know what it is? You can't ask for a jalebi angrily. Give me a jalebi.
No, you can ask for the first jalebi angrily. But the second one, you're like,
एक और देना
I swear to God. Mini or do a gulab jamun with vanilla ice cream. Man, it'll change your life and you'll be a happier person.
A hot one. Hot gulab jamun.
Oh, fuck yes.
Bro. With a little bit of jhol. Jhol hai na ki, but what chashni.
No, you can just, by the way, just please like speak in Nepali. No, why you are doing this for me? Like, you know,
You're a guest, bro. You're a guest.
But I'll learn. No, if you never, this happens to me in a lot of countries where people will, you know, because it happens to my in-laws as well, right? Because they're Bengali and we're Gujarati, so different languages. But they'll try to not speak in the native tongue when I am there. But I feel like then I'll never learn, right? Like if I have 9 days here, for me this is a golden opportunity to soak up as much Nepali culture as I can. And if you never speak around me in Nepali, how the fuck will I ever understand it?
What do you want to know? Go ahead, tell me. Any word that you want to know.
You sound more like
You
a
already
spy now.
answered the
Go.
jalebi thing, man. Like I feel like you have jalebis, we're good. Like
Yeah.
Funniest thing. Open that Karan Johar's thing or anything like that.
There's
So
a-
you guys have Muji store in India.
Yeah.
It just opened up.
That's how I know Muji.
Bro.
Dude, are you fucking kidding me?
I'm Muji right now.
Muji socks. Muji socks, guys. Muji socks. That's Japan has green pubes. That's why Muji socks. They're the best socks I've ever bought in my life.
Aakash Mehta wears muzi on his feet.
We lost our bloody mind, man. There's
Breaking
somebody
news.
Konka भन्ने छ के there's a Konka
Konka Sharma. Konka Sen.
Konkona Sen.
Konkana Sen or somebody like that.
Yeah.
They're doing the advertisement of Muji, bro.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they're saying, I am
It's
Muzi.
viral.
I'm muzi.
It's so funny to us. It's so funny to
I'm
us.
muji.
Hi, I'm Muzi.
Usually in our country, you're only called a Muji. You're never.
I'm muzi.
Yeah, that's Farah Khan said it. And yeah.
Who was it? The first one was it Farah Khan?
No,
Somebody.
there's Farah Khan,
Konkona
there's Konkona
Sen
Sen, yeah.
did first, and
Yeah.
then there was Farah Khan's, and I was like, I agree.
Find this shit,
Sure.
bro. Find this shit. Find this shit. We need,
Farah
this is
Khan-
content, bro. Come on, this is content. Holy shit, that was so
No,
funny.
you should, on Instagram, there's like comment full of Nepali people saying, ha ha ha, you're saying you're Muzi. You're saying you're pubic hair.
So tell me this, right? Like with Nepal, like what is the scene when it comes to like you being vocal about like the politics or the socio-cultural shit that's going on? Like how vocal are you?
People are pretty vocal.
Muji store, bro. दुकान भर के है हमारे पास.
Don't I like store in Sikkim or in Nepal.
I like the stuff too. Like now,
The stuff is
this stuff is
very high quality.
very
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
Right, and it stays with you for a long time.
You know the funny thing, you know why that happens, right? Like
So do some muzis.
They can just do it in mass.
No, the thing is, I realized we went on a family vacation to Europe, okay, and that's when I realized this thing. The material of the stuff that comes to the subcontinent, our subcontinent, is less than what is sold in Europe. So like, if you buy so a lot of the clothes I own are because I did the Netflix show, because they paid for the clothes, and I just like still wear them, right? Because
Of course.
so the shit quality, all of them are shit quality. Like all the Zara and all bought from India, it's terrible quality. These pink pants I'm wearing, they are Zara pink pants, okay? I go to Europe and I go because my wife is like, chal. So we go to the store and I see the same fucking shorts, dude. And you can touch the cloth and tell basically what's going on, like material wise. It's fucking superior as fuck. Yeah. It's so much better quality.
Huh.
So with Muji, Muji is one of the few brands that's not doing that. Which is why you feel like, oh wow, this is great quality stuff. Not yet, probably.
Not yet. I haven't bought stuff in India, so I really won't know. But internationally, yeah.
But you guys are fashion forward as bro. Like, I'm from Bombay. Okay, look at me. I came in shorts. Okay, this is how we operate. Mumbai, mein nobody cares how you dress, right? So much. Delhi. Whenever I go to Delhi, I get this like cultural shock of like, oh my God, everyone, makes it a point to be
dressed
like
up.
groomed and good looking and all of that shit. And then I come to Kathmandu and everyone is like one model, dude. Like everyone here looks better. Like,
Thank you. We'll
Yeah,
take
Let's
that.
accept it.
handsome
I'll
everywhere.
accept it, but it's very weird.
It's weird, but
Handsome guy, beautiful girl.
I mean, hello, isn't Urmila Matondkar
Manisha Koirala.
Manisha Koirala is, I mean, wow, man, goddess level, bro. So, I mean, I don't know what it is about Nepal, but everyone's dressed better, everyone looks better.
Thank you. We'll take that.
just a
We'll
thing.
take that.
Happier.
Arey, rakho.
We're happier.
Rakho.
No. Let me go ahead and give it back. Just go ahead and share my Bombay, bro. It's so relaxed. Like, it's super chilled out, super relaxed. For me personally,
For you, because you don't
You
pay
were on a
rent.
vacation.
2 days, pretty relaxed. Just 2 things that I was like, okay, one thing.
Ask that to the guy who's on the train.
Fuck off, ask that to this guy who's paying rent.
Very relaxed, bro. Everybody's pretty chilled out, very relaxed.
It just
Smell,
hits
I don't
people.
know, bro.
Yeah.
Smell, I don't know, bro.
Yeah, it
I don't
smells
know
like
what
shit.
it was. And traffic, I don't know, bro.
Yeah.
Traffic
Will get sorted in the next 5-10 years.
How?
How?
Because with global warming, the sea will come and the city will die.
okay,
no?
okay.
So then there will be no traffic.
No, the smell. What
Very-
about the smell, though? There's I don't know, distinct sea smell.
It's shit.
No.
I don't know what it
It's a sea smell mixed with sewage. That's the smell. Regarding. So the biggest river that runs through the city,
It's shit on brine.
it's called the Meaty River. Meaty means sweet because it was a sweet freshwater river, and Mumbai has turned it into a sewage canal. Right, so now there's a huge sewage canal running through the center of the city. So that's a lot of where the smell is
We
coming
were
from.
pretty chilled out, though. I was just there for 2 days. So I that's how I felt, though.
Mumbai people generally.
Weather is nice, so.
Like, yeah, and weather is,
Plays a factor,
if you grow up in Bombay, then the weather is the weather, right? But like whenever people come from outside, the humidity is what really. But I feel like I feel like you're saying chilled, but I feel like the word that maybe will apply better is people in Mumbai are very uncomplicated that way, like a lot more straight to the point. People are a lot more casual. There's a lot less pretense in Mumbai than you would find in other places.
It is what it is, right? It is what
It
it
is what it is.
That's how I felt in Bombay.
Yeah.
This is what it is.
This
You
is it.
want it, you take it. Otherwise, it's okay.
Exactly.
Like that way, it's pretty chilled out. Like
Yeah.
for me, right? Because our thought process is kind of almost similar to here, right?
Yeah.
It is what it is.
But it's like, today when you gave me the bottle and you said, don't wait for anyone to pour
just
for
go
you.
for it, yeah.
Yeah, that's how it is in Bombay. But when I go to Delhi, it's a very different culture. It's a very like, oh, you've come, how will you pay? How dare you pay at the restaurant and all that shit, And they take that stuff much more seriously. It's a very different culture.
One thing that I wanted to go ahead and ask you specifically was, how was working with Netflix?
It's okay only, you don't end up working with Netflix as much as you end up working with the production house, right? Like, working with Saul is, it's too good. They're too good.
I definitely, down the road, gradually, Netflix is going to definitely come here and go ahead and do shows here.
Yeah.
It's bound to happen. It's just a matter of time, right? So how is it like? How is the process like? How was it for you?
So I've done 2 things, right? I did the reality show where I was just a contestant and I just fucking who thought I would win, but I ended up winning, right? And on that end, you're not really interacting with Netflix so much. You're only interacting after the fact.
With the production company, yeah.
And Saul is fucking great to work with. Very professional, very, it's led by 2 women, Kamna and Fazila. I have a working mom. My mom is probably the biggest influence in my life, right? And when you see like, oh, this is the next generation of working women, right? Like who started at the bottom and made it to the top, right? Like how my mom did. So I see a lot of parallels there, and it's a very comfortable working environment. I interacted with Netflix when it came to the promotion of the show. Because that's when they get involved and they tell you how to promote the show and all that, which I found very different approach to how they promote things. You know what I mean? It's a far more data-driven company. Because, Netflix also claims they're a tech company. They're not so much a content company. The other thing I did with Netflix was the Kapil Sharma special. I wrote on that with Khamba. That was a different experience because you go on as a writer, but at the end of the day, you're sort of just managing expectations between parties. You know what I mean? Between the production house and the artist and the platform. And that's where it feels a little bit like, everyone wants sort of the same thing, but their approaches to getting the thing are so different from each other that reconciliation takes precedence over the writing. You know what I mean? And I feel like, and it's not just Netflix. I'm sure this is everywhere, right?
Yeah,
my best friend Naveen, like he worked on this show with another OTT, like the big competitor to these guys. And
You can't take their name or what?
because we manage him, so I mean, the
I
NDA,
don't want to put him on the spot.
NDA extends to his agency as well. But they're very anal, like as well. Like all of them are very anal, right? Like, and you also have to understand that all the OTT decision makers are basically ex-TV people.
Yeah.
So it's the same.
They come
people.
from legacy. So,
Yeah, and legacy media has the same sensibilities because legacy media has been around for a while because it works, right? Like people who the person who was at non-fiction and Netflix is the person who sort of did Big Boss in India, right, for the first time, which is huge, right? Like now it's a huge entity. So these people come with a lot of experience, and then this marriage of this very data-driven approach to art happens with this legacy media sort of people, and it creates a weird concoction. I feel like it's going to take some years for that to sort of stabilize. I feel like generally across the board, right, we're moving towards a less imaginative, less original, less risk-taking culture. Like that's why you just see like.
Do you feel that way? But for me personally, with digital, we're kind of going ahead and pushing the boundaries slightly more.
That's what we also thought when they came, bro. But it went to TV so fast.
You guys have gotten this already. We're just starting off.
Yeah, but I'm not saying I'm not trying to say how it'll go.
Yeah.
But here's my guess.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my guess. You'll start off. You'll have a lot of random original shit. Okay, it'll be very original. Some of it will be cutting edge. Some of it will be shit, as is art. The cutting edge shit will get flack. As it does.
Of course.
Right? Conservative elements se leke, I disagree with you, whatever the fuck will happen. Then people will get into trouble. Like in India, all these OTT producers and executives were far more confident until one day, somebody from Amazon had
Something
to go to
went
jail.
horribly wrong.
And it's all good. Like it's like writer jail ja sakta hai, actor jail ja sakta hai. When the executive starts going to jail or gets arrested or gets called to the police station is when they become very cognizant all of a sudden, right? And they're like, okay, you know what? The risks. What will end up happening here also is, this is my guess, it'll take them maybe a few years, but they will go for already whoever is the most famous person, right? Because they want eyeballs. They don't.
It's all about viewership.
It's all about balance sheets, and it's all about numbers. So does Instagram care if your life is enriched? Right? They just care that you keep doom scrolling. So their approach, like we're fundamentally at loggerheads at all times when it comes to the person running the channel and the person writing the show. Here, what will happen is my guess is you'll do some cutting edge shit. The minute shit goes head south, they will go back to same old same 10 faces you've been seeing all your life. You'll see again on the OTTs. Every now and then they'll call some retired old actor to do a role, and you'll be like, wow, look who's back, and you'll watch the thing. It'll all be watchable. Everything will be watchable. And watchable will be suddenly a...
Not new normal. Like, it's just going to be...
It's just... The best you'll be is watchable. Because that is all they want. They don't want you to be great. They want you to be watchable.
I make this parallel with HBO, right? Because HBO, when it came out, it was a new thing from cable television, and it did some real, like,
groundbreaking
cutting
stuff.
edge shit. Right, and right now, if you watch HBO, it's just watchable, like he said. And Netflix came to kind of rebel that, and it's already in the process of becoming the old.
What's the last Netflix show you watched that you felt was mind-blowing?
Well, mind-blowing is a very, very big word.
Okay, let me
House of
rephrase.
Cards. All right, let me go ahead and take this back. House of Cards. House of Cards for me was
Netflix.
very, very interesting.
Yeah, it was great
It
until
was
the
great.
whole thing.
Until the whole thing happened. Yeah.
But-
And then that thing he did was great.
the suicide, what was that? Squid Games? You didn't like Squid Games?
I haven't watched it.
Not a thing here?
I loved Squid
Huge
Games.
show.
Yeah, it was super big. Was
Money
it super
Heist?
big
Money
in
Heist? Yeah.
I
No,
hated
that
it.
I can't.
Hated it.
What, Squid Games?
No.
Money Heist?
I don't know what that is.
Bella ciao, Bella ciao, Bella.
Money Heist I hated. I could
Bernie?
not watch more
I
than
didn't
one
watch it.
episode.
It's just-
You didn't watch it? What was your
Sacred
story?
Games? Was that a
I've
thing?
been
here?
watching
Sacred
Sex
Games was great.
Education.
Sex
one?
Education, good
Sex
show.
Education, yeah.
Good
it's
show,
a really
good show.
good
How about you?
Me, I don't watch anything, bro.
Why?
I watch like documentaries and shit.
Oh, you're...
Yeah. Now
I mean, like,
now I've
so
started
here's
doing
my
that.
thing.
Yeah, now I've
Yeah.
started doing
Here's
that.
my thing, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm painfully aware of my mortality every day. Okay, like I'm one of those people who will take 10 minutes out of the day to meditate and be like, "Tu mar jayega ek din. This is going to end one day." And then so I value my time. Like I value my time way more than anything else. So when I'm watching things, I just want to watch things that'll destroy me. Like I want to watch something that makes me question, am I even good at what I do and all. Like that's what I want to watch. So I end up watching a lot of old movies a lot more. Like there's this golden era, man, late 80s to 90s in Hollywood when they had these mid-budget movies, these courtroom dramas, these chota movies that were just really good movies, And I feel, man, I end up watching a lot of that. Last thing I watched on Netflix that I loved was the Virappan documentary. Fuck
Come
yeah.
here. Fuck yeah. I watched that. There's the music in that. Oh, play that shit. The music in that. I literally went ahead and sent it to my producer.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, the fucking music. We gotta go ahead and like use it
That
somewhere.
guy's fucking, the vocals, dude, is so good.
Who's this guy?
You know what? As I said it, I was like, fuck, I should have researched this.
I did the music and I wanted to go ahead and find the full track, but I
Yeah.
just couldn't find it.
Yeah.
Ayush, Yojana,
I'll
this
watch
thing.
it. I'll watch it.
Bro, I didn't know that I didn't know that how the guy died. I was like, I didn't want to Google it, so I didn't know that okay, I don't want to spoil it for everybody,
Yeah.
but play this shit. Play this
You want
for
to spoil
everybody.
history?
No, play this. I have no idea which language. Maybe most probably
It'll be Tamil or Kannada.
Kannada, right, bro? But whatever it was,
I'll watch it.
this, and before that, I watched this one called The Last Breath. I don't know if you watched it.
No, I
or
haven't
not.
seen it yet, but-
It's about free diving, but I don't want to spoil it anyways. But bro, this is like you guys should totally go.
And
ahead.
it's his vocal timbre, right? His voice has this fragility to it, and it's like this, almost like this raspy.
I'll find out
darkness
who this
to
guy
it.
is. We'll find out who
Yeah,
this guy
yeah,
is.
we
I'll
should,
share it
we
with you. No, the thing is, okay, so it's gonna come here. Netflix gonna be here. Ayush is probably gonna go ahead and win our version of.
Social currency.
or most probably yours
Dude,
is gonna win.
if you're a comic around influencers, it's not even a competition. It's not.
How much did you get? 50 lakhs? Crore?
Before tax.
Okay.
I tell you what, bro. It's that
not
entire
even a
experience. My entire thing in that was twofold, right? Like for me, the first thing was, who the f are these people, right? Like who? And I don't mean the specific other 7. I mean, who the f are influencers? What the f is going on?
I know. I feel the same way.
Why is
What do they do?
society? Yeah,
What
why
are they doing, right?
What do they do?
Like I do this joke, right? Ki like Sachin, at least like wo century marta tha before he started selling Luminous ka inverter, right? Like, what the f are you doing to sell me face cream? Who are you? Where did you come from? You fucking bundle of originality, doing the same shit everybody else is doing. And I mean, so that was the first thing. And the second thing, like once I was in it and once I was there, I mean, everybody, okay? I'm sure everybody, from the production to my agency to me to my family to my friends, everybody on the show, and the cameraman and the driver on the Innova, everybody was very fucking sure. We were all fucking sure that I have no shot at this. Okay? My entire game plan, probably like, halfway through is when I realized, wait a minute, I'm gonna kick ass at this, because it took me a while to figure out my strategy, and the hardest part for me was playing dumb with them.
You went to their level.
I had to.
How
do you, boss, 21 days, bro, you can't have a conversation. Bro. Can't have a conversation that goes 4 lines ahead. That's my judgment. Like, and maybe I'm just a judgmental fuck or whatever. Okay, man. But like, my thing is now, like, I love people and I love to get to know people. But then sometimes you meet people.
There's nothing to know.
हाँ कुछ है ही नहीं कुछ नीचे. You know, sometimes it's like, you know, the deepest waters are shallowest. Sorry, our still waters are deep or whatever the fuck. Yeah. Sometimes no.
Sometimes it's just a puddle of mud.
It's a fucking puddle of mud.
My editor is gonna die.
Sometimes it's just a puddle of mud. Okay?
Too much censoring, huh?
No.
No, but
I didn't do that. Okay, so just giving you a backstory of this, all right? When I started this shit back in the day, right, during COVID, never censored anything.
Yeah.
I don't want everybody else to go to jail, so I gotta start censoring this shit.
That makes sense, man. It makes sense.
No, guys are gonna go to jail.
Huh.
I don't know this. Make sure that you remove this shit. Too. No, somebody's gonna go to jail.
For what? So saying influencers aren't smart?
No, not for this podcast, but just because
at some point.
At some point. So so is gonna take me to jail.
Okay.
100%. Like I know.
Yeah. Censor that shit.
I know my police.
Beep that shit. Man, the police here are very scary though. Way scarier than India. Very scary.
No, bro. Our guys are like chill, bro.
It's branding also.
Yeah.
It's branding also.
Blue is nice, bro.
The Charles Sobras
No,
did
it's
it.
not that shit, dude. It's
The
just like,
Charles Sobras.
in my brain, it's like all of these guys know how to use a kukri, right? Like,
Oh yeah, they don't carry it around. That's why.
yeah, but I don't know that, right? Like, I mean, and there's also like,
It's
and
definitely
angry. I've seen angry Indian people, but like the cops here always look kind of mad at me. And I find that I'm a very fattu person. Like I am not a conflict person. So like when somebody looks kind of mad at me, I'm like, sorry. I don't know what I did, but I must have done something. I'm so sorry.
I'll tell you, Nepal police. I feel they're not your friend. I mean, they'll try to trick you also, but.
Okay.
Mostly like I've heard the stories that when Nepal police really wants you to settle things outside the police station. It's just like, just do your thing and just out of here.
That's a lot of places, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and like in different places they find different ways to deal with that, right? Like in India right now, like in Bombay specifically, my God, in Mumbai, by the way, that's another thing I can get into trouble for now. First, not saying Mumbai and using the old name.
What is it?
Yeah.
Saying Bombay.
I said Bombay earlier.
Yeah, but I can
Bombay
get
is
into
okay,
trouble.
right?
No, Bombay is not okay. It's Mumbai.
Mumbai.
Okay,
Mumbai.
Mumbai.
Even
Okay.
though I was born when it was Bombay, like the second word I ever said in my life was Bombay. And now suddenly I'm supposed to
I
just
can't
erase
say.
it from memory.
Whiskey, Bombay.
I said, the first word I said was my brother's name. My brother's name is Aditya. I called him Ada as a kid. So Ada was the first thing I said. Then I said Bombay and then I said Mama. So
You had your priorities, like.
but pretty much.
Yeah.
So the story is?
So I forgot the chain of thought only.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. And so in Mumbai,
Nepal police is
it's all
scary.
become very. Technology changes a lot of things. You know what I mean? So now, if you're parked in the wrong spot or you break the wrong signal, the cop doesn't confront you. Also, you're parked in the wrong place. He'll come. He'll take a picture of your license plate. End of conversation. It's done. You're gonna get fined. You can't do anything about it now.
Nothing at all.
By removing that negotiation point, right? Like when the guy is coming to give you the bill or the
Receipt,
the
whatever.
receipt or whatever, is the chance to corrupt the guy or be corrupt or whatever, right? But when that is only not happening, when it's automated now, and now the cops have a quota.
Oh.
Like the West, like the West. Yeah, you need to go ahead and make like a certain X amount of chits. You got parking tickets, whatever.
We are very heavily taxed back home.
I'll give you an example. On the earlier conversation we had, the kukri, you don't see it, but it's in our heart, all right? It's in our mind, all right? We got that anywhere we go. Everybody
Always
was born
on
here.
edge.
Always, we have it, all right?
We're very insecure
I'll tell you a
people.
story. I don't know if you guys know this story or not. I was just reading about it again a couple of days ago. So there's a train. This guy, so he served in the Indian Army. Okay, Nepali
Gurkha
guy,
regiment.
Gurkha regiment. He served in the Indian Army, Gurkha regiment. Is coming back home.
Yeah, I've heard of this. Yeah.
On the train, in the middle of the night, couple of goons get in the train. All right. Paisa de do, whatever the hell is happening. Of course, he's like, I don't have anything. I've got nothing left. Like whatever you want to take, just go take it. Fine, fair enough, right? He has one bag right underneath him or something like that. So he gives whatever he needs to give, and all said and done, right? The goons are still in the train. Now he's a Sipai. People kind of know the Sipai, right? You've got that haircut, you've got show his picture X. So there's a young girl who goes ahead and says, Now the goons are all over the girl, right? They want to go. They're trying to grab her. They're trying to go out and obviously do things that they shouldn't do. So the girl says, "Bhaiya, save me. Bhaiya, help me." Takes out the kukuri.
Finishes them off.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
Slashes the shit out of a couple of guys. Kills a couple of guys. How many guys? Just find out how many.
Yeah.
Badass to the next level, bro.
Fuck yeah.
Next level, bro. And then I was watching a small little video of like him explaining it, right? Obviously, like super humble, very, very humble guy, right? And I just thought that it was kind of my sister. It could have been my sister.
Yeah.
It could have been somebody who I know, right?
Yeah.
So it's, there you go. Badass to the next level, bro. And on that small little clip that I was watching, very normal. Like you would have done it any day.
Yeah.
Without a single thought.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it's also like, it always fascinates me. Like, I don't know if you all are following this Canada thing also right now.
Dazuko naam मेरो त माथि आउँदा just a second, I just want to go ahead and share his name. माथि आउँदा go to
Vishnu,
the
no?
top.
Vishnu.
कता छ नाम मैले विष्णु श्रेष्ठ हैन विष्णु दाइ जहाँ हुनुहुन्छ सुन्दै हुनुहुन्छ
30 trained robbers.
30 bro 30 all tall जाउँदा हैन
I'm a Shrestha. What am I doing?
Bro, how many did he killed a couple of them. Yeah, he killed a couple of them. We don't know the exact 3, right?
8.
3 other injured, 8 others.
Alone, bro. Solo.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Badass to the next level.
It must be such a weird load to live with in your life, to have that kind of power at all times and then still like adhere to the rules of society. You know what I mean? Like I know many a times in my life where I can get a joke in and get away with things, and I can't help myself. I always do the joke, right? Like, and this guy could slit your throat whenever he wants, bro, and he has to, and he's not allowed to. You know what I mean? He trained for this, and I can say, I mean, I'm probably not as physically hardworking as a soldier, but like I've also put in as many years into my thing as he would have probably put into his cookery skills, right? And yet, I am allowed to do my thing all the time, but he's supposed to control himself all the fucking time.
You've heard about the snipers, right? The itch that you have, right?
Yeah.
You've trained all your life for that one single shot, but there are a lot of them who will never ever be able to go ahead and fire that shot.
Yeah.
Right? That itch is always going to be there, but to learn how to control it, right?
Yeah.
I want to smoke cigarettes, right? I wanted to go ahead and smoke earlier too, right?
But you quit, huh?
Yeah, I quit. Huh?
How long has it been?
4.5 years, bro. So
That's
every time somebody smokes right in front of me, this distance, bro, I definitely want to go ahead and feel that. But that itch, it's always going to stay with you.
I managed to quit for a while in the middle, and then I went. I landed in Europe one day, and of all the places, we landed in Munich. But a very stressful situation happened, and then we ended up just missing our flight. So we had the day in Munich, which is a blessing in disguise in some sense, but Germany is very, very smoky. Like people smoke a lot there. And I just looked at my
everything.
Huh?
You're talking about Germany.
HHC is legal. THC and CBD are not yet. But they might just be.
Go a little bit on the other side. And then,
So we got out of the airport and everyone's smoking and... I had a smoke after maybe like a month or something, thinking to myself, we'll restart on vacation types and shut back when we come down. These lies we tell ourselves. Full lies. So, but you know what really is the hardest part about quitting for me is how much I enjoy the act of it. You know what I mean?
Act of quitting or
act of smoking? Like the act of the motions of it. There's a certain comfort to it, which obviously is the fucking addiction, right? Like it's not actually making me feel better. It's in fact it's doing harm to me. But that's the part.
The cigarette was my best friend for the longest time.
And then you met your wife.
There you go.
Is that what happened?
Yeah. Man. Why do you think I quit, bro?
There's something about having a partner in your life because now every time they say don't smoke, you can see in their eyes they're saying don't smoke. What they're saying is, bitch, don't die on me.
That I can tell.
That makes sense.
Timurko Kesa, by the way, like what's the plan, right? Like, do you guys have any vices in specific? What's your vice? Like, what's your thing that you indulge in?
Comedy.
Yeah. It is true. It's comedy. I'm obsessed about comedy. I watch it all the time.
But
I try to learn it all the time.
Yeah.
This one time, I'm telling you, I was so fascinated by Hedberg
Yeah.
that I tried to search if Mitch Hedberg said anything about writing comedy.
Yeah, he rarely did.
Yeah, he didn't. So I found a video where
Of
it
his
says,
wife, his ex-wife. Have you seen that video?
No, I haven't.
Oh, that's the one where you...
So
yeah.
I found this video that says Mitch Hedberg writing jokes.
Yeah.
And I clicked on it, and it was just Mitch
Jokes
Hedberg
about-
writing.
Oh.
He didn't say anything. He was just writing.
There's a short documentary where somebody interviews his wife and she goes through his notebooks.
Oh,
So that's the
I
one you
haven't
should be
watched it.
watching.
I haven't watched it.
I personally feel a lot of what I do in terms of my addictions are just supplementing the fact that I'm not on stage. Because like the core addiction is always being on stage.
Yeah,
what about you? What is your vice?
I don't have any addiction like that. I just, I don't know, man. I'm not addicted to anything.
She's an overthinker, so
Yeah. So maybe that.
that's occupying her mind all the time.
I've kind of realized that. Like,
I have anxiety.
Yeah.
TikTok?
No, nothing.
Comment section?
No.
No.
She
Actually,
My
I don't
wife
have
does that, bro.
I
She
don't
argues
have a
with-
good attention span. Also, and then just I'm just overthinking. I'm just anxious all the time. I'm paranoid on the streets.
It's not
just-
one thing. She's just overthinking about one thing and then another thing, then another thing.
Thank
I
you
feel
for
you.
explaining.
And just like you, she is obsessed about the thought of mortality as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, that gets her a lot.
So I'll tell you this one thing. I genuinely believe in my heart, like subconsciously, not in my right mind, but whenever I'm scared, I feel like I'll die by accidentally falling off the stairs.
What?
I don't know. It's very specific. I don't know. It's really specific, but I can't just like walk down the stairs or like walk up the stairs without feeling like, okay, I'm going to die right now.
Bro, I feel you. I had the same thing with washing machines.
Really?
Washing machine.
Washing machines. What do you think?
It took me a year of therapy
Really?
to be in the same room as a washing machine.
What the
while it's on. I couldn't go into the room with a washing machine.
Did you feel like, okay, I'm going to get a shock from a washing machine, or I'm going to go inside a washing machine?
1 year of therapy, I still don't know what it was. But my therapist was so good and patient. Like she showed me the way, like gradually making, like I wouldn't go into the room where the washing machine is.
When the washing machine is turned on?
Even if it's off.
Or if it's just off?
Even if it's off. I couldn't go into the room. I lived in Baroda for a couple of years. I was doing comedy with a regional comedy company there called the Comedy Factory. They do Gujarati comedy. I had a washing machine in the house. I never used it. I manually washed all my clothes for the year in a bucket because I couldn't even go to that place.
So when
It's so stupid.
Did your therapist help you with like reasoning what's happening? Can you tell me so that I don't have to go to therapy?
Are we doing live therapy right now? All right. Saving money. I like it.
So for me, it was a gradual introduction is what she tried. So she said, you know what, dude? Take a friend of yours and sit in that room.
Okay.
Sit in that room until you're so busy talking to your friend that you forget that there's a washing machine. And when that happens, you can leave the room.
Yeah.
So initially, I remember the first time I just sat in the room with my friend for 45 minutes and we didn't talk or anything. I was just like nervously looking at the washing machine again and again.
Damn.
And then after a point, the third time my friend was like, dude, enough. Like, just like, how is your day? And then you just start talking. Then the next thing was like, go without your friend to the room and just sit with a book, sit with a newspaper, listen to a podcast, whatever the hell you're doing. And then it became, okay, now go to the room when it's on, but with a friend, and then the same thing repeat, but like, and then the last stage for me was put the clothes in the thing and put it to wash.
Okay.
So that took me a while.
There were stages to it, right?
Yeah, like it's always baby steps. I think anything in life is baby steps, man. Like
Yeah, I believe this has been with me for
even with
I think
stairs, it's baby steps.
Small stairs.
So it has been with you?
I think for 2 years now. So I remember before COVID, I had this fear that somebody's gonna kill me.
Right.
I don't know who, but somebody's gonna kill me. So even when I'm like cooking or like whatever doing, I used to hold knife very tightly just in case somebody attacks me from
Right.
behind.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened. I was in a lockdown, so I felt like, okay, nobody's gonna kill me. Even COVID didn't kill me.
Yeah.
So it's okay. And then suddenly, I don't know. I don't remember when it started, but suddenly I was really scared of stairs. And like till this day, every time I'm like walking down the stairs or walking up the stairs, I have this visual pictures or like videos running in my head that okay, I'm gonna die now. I'm going to like trip and fall, and there's like
God is going to know.
it's really brutal death.
It's firstly like. I don't know if this will help, but it won't be brutal. It'll be,
Instant.
It won't be
I don't
instant
think
either,
it'll
but
be
the
instant.
chances of vegetative state are higher than that, firstly.
It's not. That's not good.
It won't be brutal, it'll be silly.
Yeah.
Just
But hey man, like, I am somebody, I had a massive injury in school because I fell off the stairs and I damaged my median nerve in my arm. So I was a percussionist first.
Which one?
Okay.
Left arm. I'm a lefty. Big problem when you're a lefty. And I still can't play guitar and all properly. Like when I play guitar, these two fingers don't work as well as the other three. And I had to stop drumming like almost for 2 years because of that.
You drummed.
Yeah, I started off as a percussionist, and then when the injury happened, and the doctor was like, "Enough! Like you can't do this anymore."
And then you started dancing after that.
No, dancing was even before all of that actually.
Okay.
But then I picked up the keys, I picked up the bass guitar first, then the ukulele and guitar. I was just like dreading because I didn't want to be the guy. You know the guy, right? But like I feel like sometimes the fears are a great opportunity to excel as a person as well. Like, because I remember after that entire incident of falling off the stairs, like for me, like everything attached to that incident became a negative thing, right? Like even the idea of making music or playing music became like this, oh man, it's going to take me back to that thing that
moment,
happened.
yeah.
And then slowly, I think it's almost like a juvenile thing where you're like, how dare you fear you? Who are you to make me feel this way? You know what I mean? And almost sort of just juvenile. I will best you because and you're really not pointing a finger at anybody. It's just you. But I feel like sometimes that really will help. Maybe
have an ego.
If you just insult each step as you go down and say, who the are you to make me feel this fear? You know what I mean? Like, I've been suicidal most of my life.
Okay.
And the act of skydiving was like me saying to that feeling where I was like, you want to jump? No? You want to jump? No? Every time you go to a high place, let's do it. Let's go and jump. You know, and let's simulate that. Let's see what it feels like, right? Like
That's beautiful to me.
yeah,
Facing your
and,
fears.
Beautiful.
and when you fall and there's a parachute that's gonna go on, but this whole entire mental thing of the fall is still beautiful. It still feels exhilarating, but somewhere in the middle of the fall, you're like, hey man, I really hope this parachute opens. Huh? Like, so that entire life ambition is suddenly out of the window and self-preservation kicks in. And since then, like earlier, I would never go to the edge of a thing.
So you really didn't want to die. It's just like
No, I mean, I feel like the difference now is that I feel like I am going to die. That's the assurance I have. Like I am going to die, bro. I don't have a choice
If
there.
it's gonna happen, then why do it?
Yeah, if it's coming, then why am I making the effort to do it?
The way he's saying it, right? I totally understand living in the edge, right? So I'm not married. I have a partner right now. She dislikes, I'm not going to use that word, she dislikes me going ahead and doing crazy stuff, right? Skydive, scuba dive, bloody all the other crazy shit that I do all the time, constantly, right? But that keeps me alive because I know that in any speck of a second, my regulator might not work. I might just be poof and I might not find my body on the side. You're done instantly. If you're like 100 feet below water, like...
Kab jayega tu upar?
Done, right? Exactly. So that instant... That split second, you know that in that split second you can go, that keeps you alive. Exactly what you were saying, right? You know that your parachute is going to be open, right? But at that moment, that parachute opening...
Until it opens.
Yeah. But that's the moment that keeps us going.
Yeah.
But being completely okay with like death, like I know that I'm going to go. I just don't know when, but I'm completely fine with that.
Yeah,
right?
you have to be okay with the idea of it.
Yeah, you got to be like, you got to
I don't think
that.
I'm okay with it.
And I think that's the biggest
Yeah.
one. The minute you get like, because this is what I'm talking about in Nepal in the shows as well. Like this is the bit I'm doing right now on stage as well, which is like, I mean, I'm 30, dude. Like, and I just turned 30. And as a person who's been suicidal since he was a fucking kid, like I don't know whether to celebrate the fact or to rue the fact, right? Like, am I just that unsuccessful at my goals, or you know what I mean? And it's so funny because it's a two-pronged thing, right? Like first is, I have tried to kill myself a whole bunch of times, and I have failed every single time.
This is from when you were very young, or like
from probably from the ages of like 16 to 20 something, like early 20s, I must have tried like 5 times, and I failed fucking 5 times, dude. That just sucks. to fail at suicide multiple times. Because why do you want to kill yourself? Because you think you're a failure. And then you fucking keep failing at that also. You know what I mean? And part of why I don't mind, like I will do the skydive, I will do the scuba, I will do the fucking jump into the ocean from the cliff thing. I will do all of that shit because every second I'm alive is to the forces in my head. You know what I mean? Like every time I look back at all my attempts, I swear to God, I cannot remember what triggered each of those attempts. Right? But every time I look back into my memory, the things I can remember are these fucking strange fragments of moments where all my brain is thinking is, thank God we didn't die that day, no? Like, how good is this, dude? How great is this, Aakash? And I'm like, yeah, Aakash, good call. Thank God we suck at suicide, Aakash. And it's a solid, like, life in this universe, life itself is a right? Like Camus was right, dude. Absurdism is the response to an absurd world. The world makes no sense. And the most you can do is just be like, you know what, dude, you don't want to make sense. Now it's okay, I also won't make sense. It'll be fun. Let's do this. You wanna play me like my life is finite? No, I'm gonna fucking have so much more fun than you ever thought I could have. Just sheerly out of vengeance. Against something that probably doesn't exist also, right?
Yeah.
But it works. Whatever floats your boat, you know. Like some people pray every day, you know.
That's some post-nihilistic.
Yeah. I feel like nihilism is half the conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nihilism is always the transformation phase.
Yeah.
Nobody gets that. Nihilism is supposed to be temporary.
Yeah.
Right?
वो पूरा time नहीं हो सकता. Oh, nothing matters. Nothing. हाँ तुम क्या करें?
Nothing matters. Then great.
That's great. No, now you make your own matter.
Yeah. Great. Nothing matters. Now this will matter. This is the.
I feel like comedians are way more attuned to this than other people because we live like in 15-second increments on stage, right? Like every and just because you've been doing a joke for 10 years doesn't mean it's gonna work tonight.
Yeah.
So there's this cruel sense of uncertainty and injustice, you know, in the world.
For me, sitting here and beautifully seeing this play out is like something else, right? Because I don't do what you guys do, right? I'm kind of not exactly, but I'm on the opposite end, right? I sit here and listen. I try my level best to go out and do that, right?
I feel like active listening is a good skill to have.
So I just had a question. Like you talked about this attitude you have with everything that's like, you know, against you.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that helps in your stage skills? Like for me, a lot of the times a show is not going well, and nothing I do is working. I've tried every trick in the book, and then at one moment I go like, okay, this is not gonna. Then I'll try the most untested shit right now.
Does it work for you?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. It's a gamble, right?
Yeah, it's a gamble.
Okay, here's my question to your thing. In your heart of hearts, do you care if they laugh?
I mean, on a normal show, yes. But when they are not responding to anything that I do, that's when I like, fuck you guys.
Yeah, but in your heart of hearts,
Yeah.
would you rather that they laugh?
Yeah.
Of
course.
Right? That's
Yeah.
the fundamental difference.
Oh.
With you.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
I really don't. I couldn't care less. I don't give a fuck if they laugh or not. I'm having such a good time. I'm laughing at my own show. Have you seen my stand-up?
Yeah.
I'm having the time of my life right now. तो तू कौन है मेरा mood बिगाड़ने वाला? And many a times it's how do I put this? Like this is an old story. Okay, somebody had once told me. Okay, when you are trying to stop someone, okay, and you reach for them, there are many ways you can reach for someone. You know, you can put your hand on their face and say stop, like you do with a cat. You can push on their chest and push them back. Or you can hold them by the shoulder. Right? Put a hand on the shoulder and say, Arey, mat karna. You know what I mean? And each one works in its own way. And each one must be employed at some point in life. But I'm this guy. I'd rather go for the shoulder and be like, come no, why or not? Come. And so I think it's an inherently Indian thing also, right? Like,
चल
अरे कुछ नहीं होता, आ जाओ अरे देख तो लो. I'm like a real estate broker, dude. Like, I'm like, even I know he's not gonna take the house, but अरे देख के तो जाओ, just in case, you know.
So for me, like that moment happens when even this doesn't work.
Right.
So
But it's still I never like for me
He goes on stage with the fuck you mom.
like I don't care. I
Yeah.
don't care if
I've
anybody-
never understood that. Like not caring about the audience.
I'll
not
give you
laughing.
the reason.
Okay.
Yeah,
Go
no,
ahead.
go for it. You give the reason.
Okay, I don't know if you guys probably didn't make this to Nepal this story, but many years ago when I was also in school, when Bluetooth had just come out on phones, and you could MMS, you could send each other MMS and all videos. You know. There was a girl in Delhi whose boyfriend made a video of her sucking him off.
Okay.
Okay, some school kid, school like 16, 17 maybe year old kid.
Jesus.
Guy makes the video goes viral as what viral was back then, you know, Bluetooth to Bluetooth to Bluetooth to Bluetooth. The girl is somehow at fault for this. She's shamed. Her dad is an IAS officer in India. That's a fucking respectful position in the executive of India, and they have to move countries because they are so shamed by this incident that has happened. Okay. Fast forward 10 years later. Sunny Leone comes to India, right? A porn star comes to India and makes space for herself within the scene. She's insulted. She's asked all kinds of wrong questions and stupid
People don't
things.
see beyond her body.
But she's graceful. She has dignity. And she makes it through that rough patch. And now she's just another one of the celebrities that we have in India. She's respected and she has a following and she makes a living and all of those things. The same who shamed that girl were happy to let this one in, right? दोनों लड़की का गलती नहीं है. That's how fickle the people are. These will judge me. These people, like, are you kidding me? These people, these who before the show started were checking out each other's shoes to see who has more money. They are supposed to tell me how to feel about how I feel. I already hate myself. What will you do now?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's where it comes for me from. Like, I don't have to be honest to anyone but myself.
This I understand because like when it comes about like putting your stuff online, putting your content online, there's a lot of hate on the comments. And especially, I used to feel very bad when people used to...
ऊपर से तू औरत है.
Yeah, like slut shame me or like degrade me on the comments. And then at one point I started like feeling like, you can't insult a comic because there's nothing you can say that they haven't said about themselves on the stage in front of a lot of people. So that's how I don't feel insecure about my material anymore. Before that, I used to be very concerned about what goes online and what not. So this year I'm planning to put a lot of stuff online.
Yeah, I'll tell you guys a story, right? So
Give
everybody.
the
Everybody knows that I do events, right?
You do events?
I host events.
How will I know all
He's a celebrity host.
No, I'm not. So I host tons of events. I've hosted tons of events, right, since 2009.
Like an MC.
Yeah, MC.
Yeah.
Like tons. Like I don't even remember anymore, right? There's a couple of events that have changed. Generally, every event changes you, but there are a couple of events that's practically shaped me to who I am today. I learn every single day.
Yeah.
But there are a couple of events, right, that's completely fucked you up, completely annihilated you to the next level, right? So obviously, among all the big events that I fucked up, like everybody knows back home here, there's one event that I've never talked about.
Comment your favorite one now.
So, event's about to start. So this event in my mind, all right, in my mind, for me, this event's like the pinnacle of events. Okay, so I've said this to myself. So I've constantly said this to myself.
Wait, you were there at Modi ji's inauguration? What the fuck, bro?
Celebrity host.
I thought I saw him, bro. I thought he just hosts celebrities.
Oh, I was right there, bro. So I've constantly said this to myself for the past 10 days of going through rehearsals, this, that, blah, blah, biggest event, blah, 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 blah.
You built it up in your head.
Just in my head. It's not, all right? Now I find out that I'm hosting this event solo. All right? Now the pressure is even more.
Was it not originally solo?
It was kind of not originally solo, and then later on it just became like, okay, it's a solo gig. Like 2 days before the event, it's like solo gig. So rechange the whole thing, do the whole thing, blah, blah, blue. A minute before 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I'm on stage. Cameras are rolling. Everything's going to happen. The audience is there. Everything is there. I'm sitting down. I've never said this before. 30 seconds, a minute before the event, I'm sitting down. My heart rate's like probably 170, bro. It's never happened in my life.
You've worked yourself up into this.
Yeah, I've worked myself up so much into this. Biggest event, I'm doing it alone. So much pressure. Like, I cannot fuck it up. I built myself so much. I know that my heart rate was 170, 180 because I can feel it. Bam, bam, bam. I can feel it right now. I was sitting down, stood up, lit a cigarette. Imagine, I lit a cigarette to calm myself down.
Yeah, it kind of has the opposite
effect, right? Lit a cigarette. I still remember that. When you were smoking that, those are moments when I remember. Lit a cigarette, calm myself down. I still had like 20 seconds remaining. Got the mic. Backstage, front stage, right? You know that split moment, right? Right there. I don't know how I did it. I really, till today, I don't know how I did it. From 170 maybe, I came down to 110.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, right? Bam, went on stage. So I had to calm myself down in that 1 minute.
Yeah.
That event taught me, that moment taught me so much about myself. Probably I had never learned about myself on all the previous events that I had done, or all the previous shit that I had done. Because I had hyped that shit so much that I had a minute to hype myself down.
Yeah.
So there are instances in your life that's really going to teach you a lot of things, like you were mentioning earlier, right, about so many different things. There's just moments, and you just have to go back to that moment. So every time I do an event now, I go back to that 1 minute. Slow everything down. Everything's going to be completely okay because there is going to be an end of that event, right? So there's going to be an end of my life too. So I don't have to think of that end, right? Or the process is going to be great. Right at the end, everything's going to be good. That's what I think. There are going to be fuck-ups. I'm going to make mistakes. Things are going to go completely south, but I'll manage.
Yeah.
That's how I felt in that 1 minute.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel throughout the remainder of my life now. Right?
Yeah. And I feel like...
You getting me what I'm trying to say?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I feel like इसमें दो level का चीज़ है. Like 2 takeaways for me from this story. One is, like, part of it is like, that's what it is to be a professional in anything, right? Like, when the plumber comes to your house, he's fought with his wife and come, na? He's not taking it out on you or the pipes, right? Like, he puts it outside and he gets to the thing. That's the first sign of a professional, compartmentalization, right? And the second thing what you said, which I think, I don't know if cricketing analogies work here, but like, you don't hit a century every time, right? What batsman is going to hit 100 runs every time, dude? You're not. Don't be in some delusion that you are some never before seen, object in this scene where you will be the first person who kills every time ever. That's not going to happen. Life is all about averages. So you having a really bad gig one day is actually a good thing. Because you could have had 4 kind of shitty gigs. Instead, you just had 1 really bad gig, right? So your average will get maintained. So you're good.
Mathematically, you don't suck.
The most you can do is the most you can do. You cannot do more than the most you can do. So just be happy with that.
And I had never thought that cigarette is going to calm me down, bro. That day was probably the first and last time that the cigarette really got my heart rate low, bro. That's never ever happened ever.
Yeah,
bro, it just went down. I could feel my heart rate, bro.
It wasn't the cigarette.
It wasn't the cigarette. It was your brain, man.
Yeah.
It's all up here, bro. All the chemicals are right here.
It's not even like it's that part of your brain that knows you have a job to do.
Yeah.
And it happens with comedy too, right? You're always nervous before going on stage.
Yeah.
And then once you get that
the day
first
you're
laugh,
not nervous is a bad day.
Yeah.
It means you stop caring.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And then you go on stage, you get that first laughter, and then you're like, okay, I know what to do now.
Yeah. And it's almost like cycling, after a long time. A little bit you're shaky, and then the minute your pedals are going, I've been here before.
Like for us, it's the first laughter. That's a very important
That's
thing.
the icebreaker. Like as soon as you get the first one.
It's not for the audience, it's for us. Like it's just letting ourselves know, okay, I know how to ride this bike.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like finding a balance.
Yeah.
Now I'll write from here.
Yeah.
So.
Also, I feel like we have this weird pressure that nobody else does. Like comedy is the only art form where there is an expected result.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Nobody says painting dekh ke to you should feel happy only. Na?
Yeah.
That never happens. Right? With comedy, it's not comedy only unless they're laughing. So we are living with this very is the only objective art form as opposed to being a subjective one. So our
Yeah.
pressure is a little different.
Yeah, I really agreed with Norm Macdonald when he said that like this is not an art, this is a craft.
This is craft. It's 99% craft.
Like because art is open to interpretation and comedy is not open to interpretation. You're supposed to laugh. Everybody's supposed to laugh at the same time. Right? So it's a craft. It's a table. It's making a table.
Exactly.
It's supposed to hold shit. Right? You cannot expect anything else from a table.
Yeah.
That's the same way you cannot expect anything from comedy.
This is why I feel like comedians and architects have a lot in common. We're both making superstructures. They're making it out of blueprint. We're making it out of words. We're doing the same thing. And any art, right? Like a table is a functional piece of to elevate the craft of making a table to an art thing. That's like that's
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? You get so good at making the table that then you start expressing yourself through the table. That's when it becomes art.
Yeah.
Right? So like the mechanics of it, the ups and downs. Acha, joke is this setup, punchline, aisa karne ka. There are probably like 13 things, dude, that we all do. Like we are all just doing 13 things in different permutation combinations to make jokes work. You can literally break it down to that. But wahi to khubsurti hai na. I mean, a line is a line, right? But like when you put it next to the right line, it's like it's a shape. So that's really what we're doing here. Right? For me, the whole achievement that I want from comedy at the end of this is like I am gonna give this as long as I need to give this to get to the point where I can do something like I want to make a table that's never been made before. You know what I mean? I want to make a table that all the other carpenters see and say, how did I never think of this table, bro?
Yes, exactly.
That's my only. The day I do that, then I'll be okay. Bye. My contribution. Like I've given, because I feel like I've taken so much from comedy. Like comedy has just given. I started doing comedy when I was 18. My entire adult life has been spent doing comedy.
Wow.
Okay, so this has given me everything I am here right now is this art form or this craft, whatever you want to call it. So at some point, I just want to give back the thing. I'm like, hey, tune itna diya na. This is all I can give back. But take this Guru Dakshina and let's now I can go and become a farmer or whatever.
Are you going to stop?
I mean, I feel like you can't stop ever.
Exactly, that's what I was saying.
What I 100% want to do is stop the other shit I have to do. I don't want to put reels. I don't.
Same.
I don't want to put reels.
Don't want to make TikTok. Really.
Please leave me alone to make my art.
All I want is some people in the audience. I want to tell you the jokes that I wrote.
And it's so interesting to me because when I started doing this, and all I wanted from my life was to sell 30 tickets everywhere. You know what I mean? Like I was like, I'll get a job. I'll do anything else. But as long as I can pull 30 people in a room, that's enough people for me to practice my craft and get better at it. And that's really the only objective here is to be better. And now, I just, my ideal life is a place where I don't have to keep putting this pressure on my comedy. Ki like, hey, comedy, you need to make me a living now. You know, the same guy, like I find myself, I was doing a show in Gurgaon, just last night before I came in, and it's a 90-seat venue, and we sold 86 or something, and I was upset with myself. Like how did we not get the last four guys? And in my head I was like, hey man, like chill the out, no? Like, firstly, tu kya Shah Rukh Khan hai kya? Like, what is this expectation? And secondly, as long as the core objective is getting done, I know I need to make money, but until that happens, so reel dal na fir. Don't complain about the fact that 4 people didn't come.
And does it make you, do you feel the pressure that you've been doing it for so long that you might have to go ahead and, like, I'm going to throw in a word called educate, but definitely go ahead and share it with the younger lot?
What? Like comedy shit?
I don't know, like just go ahead and like share more about expressing themselves.
I mean, man, like, who am I, dude, to say anything? Like, I feel like if you ask me as a person on a personal level, I'll tell you everything I know. I have nothing to hide from anybody. So everything I've learned, all the f***s I've done, they are for you only, right? What are we here for? We're here to tell each other things and tell each other stories. What is our core, dude, as people? What was the first shit we did as people? You think comedy was invented in America in the 60s or what? Fuck that shit. Comedy was invented, 3 dudes, Louis C.K. bolta na, 3 dudes around a fire and one of them goes, and they laughed. And that was it, right? This is the core of who we are. I don't know, like, यहाँ पे अभी भी होता होगा, Mumbai में there's not scope to do a bonfire at night, campfire. It's very hot. But sometimes we have a farm, like we have a family farm, so we go to the family farm in the winters, and in the winters, I always light a fire. I'm that guy. I'm a Boy Scout type of person. I love the idea of sitting around a campfire, cooking some nice little paneer or some shit. This is what irritates me. I'm with my family all day at the farm, and for me, it's like I want to get away from them, quietly go, light a fire, smoke a cigarette, me time. Never happens. Never ever happens. I light the fire. When I'm going to light the fire, I tell everyone I'm going to light a fire, and everyone's like, "Arey chodna, let's just play cards or something."
Yeah,
I don't want to
sit inside. Yeah.
I go, I light the fire. Everybody comes to the fire. Everyone comes, sits for 5 minutes, warms their feet, warms their hands, and what's the first thing we all do? We share stories. Right?
Yeah.
We share things that we've seen, that we've learned, that we've heard.
Yeah.
That's who we are. That's what we are as a species. We are people who tell stories. That's us.
He's actually
always
given
say-
You give me a great idea. Come on. You give me a great idea. The next one that we're going to do, we're going to call it Campfire. Huh?
I'll give you bank details. You send royalty.
The last TED talk I did.
You're talking about a friend that you
I
know,
said
huh?
the same thing about
I saw one of your TEDx you did.
TEDx,
No? Yeah, I remember that shit. I saw one of them like some 2 weeks back.
Yeah.
No, Ani?
And yeah, I said like basically the same thing, that telling each other stories and like talking to each other, having conversations, sharing stories, sharing jokes is the truest human experience.
Yeah.
Right? That's what makes us feel human. Right? And I feel like that all this shit that we do is just to allow ourselves to have conversations, because that is the truest human experience. Right? That's what makes us feel human. Like we talk to dogs. Right? We don't need to do that.
Yeah.
But it's a human in us. Right?
Not just dogs, right? Like
Yeah,
people
we-
will have turtles and talk to them and all. Like people talk to plants and all.
Yeah, like we are humans. Like that's what makes us different from any other living thing in the planet, right? We have conversations.
It's the ability to have shared myths.
Yeah.
As Yuval Harari puts it.
Yeah,
in,
Harari's.
Yeah. But it's that.
Even if aliens come here, one of the first
Yeah.
things that we're going to do is
We'll
we're going to
tell
crack a
them
joke.
stories.
We're going to go
Yeah.
and crack a joke.
We'll tell them stories.
I'm sorry, if
Mexico already has one.
tiny Mexican. Have you guys seen that alien yet? Please go.
They're pretty cute, man. They're goddamn it, they're pretty cute.
yeah.
America's
Yeah.
aliens have aliens.
But I bet the Mexican aliens came with visa.
Try to go ahead and good joke, bro. Good joke. Let's see how far everybody can go ahead and push it, right? Okay, I'll give you an example. Dave Chappelle, right? He's I love Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
I love that guy. Right? When you look at his
Material.
the joke back in the day when you were sitting in the limousine and then this small little baby is selling crack joke, all right?
Yeah.
That bit, right? Fucking hilarious, right? Now when you listen to Dave Chappelle, right, he's still hilarious, but it's different. As the older you grow, with the circumstances you go through, with the things that you've seen, with all that you've experienced, right, it's going to be different. It is going to be different. You're not going to be able to go, not able, but you're not going to be cracking the same jokes or sharing the same stories.
In fact, if you are, that's concerning.
Right?
That happens with some people.
That happens with some people,
and
right?
it's very concerning.
So if you need stories I'll give you an example. Why I'm trying to go ahead and relate this with what I do, right? I have a lot of stories, right? Every single day I do this. It's therapeutic to me. It makes my ball rolling. It gets me through the day. Doing this, sitting down with people every single day for a couple of hours, right? I think about Dave a couple of times, right? Especially during COVID when he had nobody to talk to. Right?
Dave was doing shows in his farm. Dude.
I'm coming to that.
He did the show because he had nobody
nobody to talk to, right? So that's what I was coming to, right? He opened up, he went to a church or somewhere nearby or his farm and opened it up and invited people and did shows, right? So he evolved, right? So down the road, gradually, do you guys think that you evolved? Or do you think that you're still in the same place where you were back in the day?
There's definitely evolution in the way we deal with topics, deal with audience. I mean, like, I definitely know that the whole internet culture, putting on reels and everything, it will become a more integrated part of our craft.
Yeah, we'll learn. We'll find a way to
Yeah.
not break our rhythm and
Yeah,
keep doing it.
Eventually, right now it's still a little bit chaotic, but we've evolved in a lot of ways, and there's a lot of evolution still happening.
But I think
Yeah.
it's two levels though. One is like it's easy to confuse one for the other as well. Wherein you grow in terms of skill. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then you grow as a person. And they
It all comes
work
together, works together.
No, but they work with each other in very different, weird ways sometimes. Wherein the subject matter might change completely because you've changed as a person, but it might change completely because you've upgraded your skills to the point where you can now talk about things that you couldn't earlier.
Dave, for example, his core is still what he is.
Yeah.
That's how I feel as a listener.
I think
So, with this exact thought,
Yeah.
like there are a bunch of premises that I've tried in the past that I couldn't work.
Yeah.
And I just told myself that I haven't grown enough as a person to talk about this.
I
I know there's
feel you,
something
man.
funny there.
I feel you.
I just haven't grown as a person enough
Yeah.
to handle it properly.
Yeah.
Right?
And I love the your word you used. You said there is something there.
Yeah.
See, all comedians will say that. There's something there.
There's something there. We just
Do
don't
you
know
understand?
how.
Can you imagine, like, see how our approach is? It already exists. We just have to reach it.
Yeah.
The statue is in the block of the marble.
Yeah.
The job of the artist is just removing all the extra shit. You know what I mean? It's beautiful how we look at jokes that way.
There's such a funny thing. I was watching this in the mornings. One of those short clips, once you start scrolling, you're scrolling into the endless universe. There's some Indian TV series, God knows what it was, right? And the guy is
भाभी जी
talking
घर पे
about- है ना पका रही
इसलिए तू बाहर आया.
The weirdest serial title that I recently heard was क्योंकि सास माँ बहू बेटी होती है.
Where did you hear that?
I don't know.
It's on TV all the time.
What?
What?
क्योंकि सास माँ बहू बेटी होती है.
No.
I'm-
The guy says
No. I think it means sorry.
No. Say.
I think it means क्योंकि सास माँ
Yeah,
और बहू बेटी होती है. Okay, maybe.
There's a breakdown in between, right? The
Hey,
comments
can
are
I
like-
Where's
ask
the comma,
this to
bro?
everybody here? How old is everyone here?
How old?
Yeah.
I'm 35.
35.
I'm 31.
And you?
I'm 26.
26.
X is 27 now. I'm the oldest here.
Here's my question to you.
Go for it.
I used to think, as I was growing up, right? Like, I think I was a lot harsher on people around me for having the opinions they had.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I've lived long enough to see things play out in my world, in our world, now suddenly I'm a lot more conservative and right wing. Like I feel like I care so much less about human rights than I did 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Dude,
So it's not like, okay. I can live with that. I can live with
the
that.
humanitarian values, the idealistic humanitarian values that I grew up with do not suddenly apply because I feel like they're more narrative than anything else, right? Because like you're saying, oh, all life is precious, but like मतलब मुंबई में स्टेशन के बाहर वो अभी भी भीख मांग रहा है ना मतलब क्या
Things hasn't changed.
things don't really
Doesn't look
change by,
precious.
yeah. And more than anywhere in life, I see this with like happening right now with with cancel culture, right? Like where somehow say there is a comedian who's racist, right? Like he's a racist comedian. This is racist jokes like, oh, Nepal people are like this and Bengali people are like this and he's doing the race. Fuck you all, I am superior. Okay, fine. It's problematic. Should be cancelled, right? That's the current take on this situation. Why? Why is it so bad to say shit? What would you rather have, a racist comedian or a racist policymaker? What's worse? A racist comedian, a musician, or a racist police officer? Right? Like nobody has this moral. No other profession has this moral weight on our shoulders 24/7. Right? Where people listen to you. Yeah, man. You heard the shit coming out of the politician's mouth the other day, bro. And somehow I'm supposed to. You know why? Because we're soft targets. Artists are
Yeah.
soft targets, right? So the person on the other
Can
end
be
who's-
pushed around. That's what you're saying.
and when you cancel them, you're fucking putting your tweets saying, "Oh, these guys are devil spawn." You're feeling good. You're getting that person who's canceling you is getting the sense of control in their life that they lack because they don't know how to vote the guy out of power.
Yeah.
So they'll just attack
So when it
anybody
comes
else.
about like whenever we
If you're the weakest, like you were saying, right? If you're the weakest, if you're the weakest, then you're gonna
actually
Easiest.
Easiest.
So
Because let's say we have a career and taking that career away from us is quite easy in this day and age, right? And like matter of fact is it doesn't really matter to us because we still do shows, right?
We just won't be selling face cream.
Yeah.
So I think
but we're the easiest target. We're not weakest. We're not weak. It's just easy target, like for whatever they want to do.
Yeah, but you were saying?
No, I was just like we seem like sorry. So this sense of control, like they feel like, okay, I can do this much. So whenever there's like a very okay, for example, some murder happens, and so they can't bring justice to the victim. They can't. There's like if something injustice is happening, but when we talk about it on the stage, they're like, okay, how dare you talk about that? It's too soon for you to talk about that. So they can like control us. So it's just like sense of controlling or like sense of power that they feel, and they feel like, okay, I did something for this.
And it's so stupid because they already do it all the time, right? In comedy, if they don't laugh at something consistently, then I have no choice but to not do the joke, right?
Yeah.
So they already are in control, man. Like each scene gets the comedians they deserve, okay? Each audience gets the comics they deserve. They can't get
politicians.
you can't get. Yeah, it's like in any democracy.
Also, when it comes about like freedom of expression, they're always like, okay, there's freedom of expression, but you have to
Limitations.
Yeah, there's limitations, and you have to like think about how to not hurt.
Some sentiments.
And
And
it's
I'm like, your sentiment is in your control, man.
Yeah.
Like, control it.
Offense is
like big,
and offense was Stephen Fry bolta na, offense is never given, it's always taken.
Yeah.
Like I am offended, right? Like it's never like I am offending. Nobody says that.
Yeah.
It's always I took offense to this. Yeah, you took it, na? Who's giving you, bro?
The
Yeah,
guy
don't
who
take
came to
it.
your show that day.
we did a joke in Baki Samachar where we said that तैले मासु चबाउन सकेन भनेर मैले सुकुटी किन्न खाने, right? Like your sentiment is yours, like handle it. Right?
There's a great quote by Voltaire, right, who said that I will defend. I might not agree with you,
but I will
defend
your right
to say it. You know, till my
I'll
death.
die.
Yeah, and then they cut his head off. Right at the end of the French Revolution. The man who set the guillotines off got guillotined himself. We become what we hate.
So at the end of the day, there you go. At the end of the day, but somebody had the balls to at least go ahead and say that, right? And in the 21st century, we're going ahead and talking about that in the podcast, right? So it stayed, right? It stayed what he had said. It stayed forever and ever.
Because it's a
probably gonna
great
stay
table,
forever.
my friend. It's a great table.
It is.
And great tables don't, they don't go with history. And this is one of those things, right? Like we live in an increasingly transient space and time. Another thing I realized, so I was in, again, like Baroda, because, I lived there for 2 years. Every time I go there for a show, and most places that I go to perform, I've been touring India since 2015.
कहाँ रहेछ यो बरोडा मलाई देखा त हजुरले 4 चोटि बरोडा
It's such
भनिसक्यो.
a beautiful
I want
city.
to know where it is, man.
So beautiful.
I'm very confused
The
in the
new
map.
name is now it's called Vadodara because like Baroda is an English. So India mein British gave a lot of names, na?
Uh-huh.
So when they left, we started taking the names back in some sense. Right? That's
Yeah.
We're doing that too.
Bombay,
Mumbai.
Except there was no Mumbai as such. I mean, but let's not.
Let's not get into that. But
Vadodara ko dekh, Vadodara.
यो पार्ट याद गर है.
Yeah.
उसले मैले बुझिसकेको
Vadodara.
भनेको.
It is
यो पार्ट नोट गरे.
such a beautiful little town.
V.
VA. You'll see it.
That was zoom in. Oh, it's right.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, it's right there. Okay.
Bharuch ke upar, yeah. It's a beautiful city.
I haven't been to this part. Also, उ देखा न मलाई यसको images हेरौँ न. Just go to Google Images and then
Look up. Look.
No,
Yeah, that's the one. That's the building you want to see. That's the old Lakshmi Vilas
What
Palace.
is this? Palace.
Yeah, the Gaikwad family.
This is great.
I think it was the
Is
Gaikwad.
this
I'm so
Victorian
sorry,
or
guys. If I'm
Indian?
getting this wrong, my Indian friends, I'm very sorry. But yeah, it's a very beautiful,
Also, देखा न
very
जन्नत
indie city.
How old is this? Oh, not trying to put you on the spot. Old, like hundreds, thousands.
Yeah, 100 years old.
Damn, bro. This is beautiful.
I had once, I had gone for a wedding. Now they rent it out.
Uh-huh.
I had gone for a wedding here once at night, And
Damn, that's inside.
weirdly enough, this is where I, as a kid, this building. At that wedding, this is where I knew what love is. Like I had never truly seen romantic love till I saw.
Okay, this is your city.
I mean, that's the palace. The city is behind it.
Behind, man. That's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
This looks
But
super
just
nice,
look at
man.
I mean, I think it's very hard to explain the vibe of a place, But there's a vibe to this place. But
Okay,
so I
anyway,
was
sorry,
there.
yeah.
And I was talking to this friend of mine. He's a musician. He's the guy who produced the music album I put out.
You have music album?
Listen to it alone though.
उसमें भी बोलता क्या?
No, but it's my music has nothing to do with comedy. It is deeply personal, very emotional shit. Like it's the EP will make you cry at least once. And if it,
Up on YouTube?
yeah, it's everywhere. Spotify. Everywhere.
Spotify mein wo
It's called What a Life. What a Life. But yeah, so I was discussing with my friend Shashwat, and we were just discussing the AP Dillon documentary that came out, and AP Dillon blew up right in 5 years. And Shashwat said something that really hit me. He said, I want to watch it, but I don't want to watch it because it makes me feel like a failure. Because I've also been a musician for so long and I couldn't get that kind of success. And it made me just think, because life does not work in a linear fashion. Like it's not an investment that you put in 500 rupees, so whatever you get back will be in rupees only. Life gives you things back in different ways and forms. Like I'm not the most famous comedian, right? Like the last 3 comedians from India that came here were Bassi, Harsh Gujral and Zakir, I believe. Yeah. Probably not in that order, but these are huge people in India. They are selling out auditoriums in India, okay? I have been doing comedy for pretty much as long as, longer than Bassi and Gujral for sure. And probably as long as Zakir, maybe a few years, maybe a year or two less or something. And I mean, they are doing what they're doing. They are fucking amazing at where they are in their lives. I have not gotten the kind of money they've gotten. I don't fill auditoriums like they do. But my payback is the people, right? Like I have a family in every city of this country now that I'd go to tour. Because I've been going since 2015, bro. I have family. They're family now. Some of them were fans who became friends, who became family. Some of them were comics who became family. Some of them were just random strangers who, who we just became so close. When I got married, the guest list was the most insane guest list my parents had ever seen. Because they're like, why do you know people from here? And who is this person from there? And I'm like, how do I explain? I meet this person twice a year, but I'm so close to them that they know more about me than you probably do. And I don't want to fill the 500-seater. Because I need the 40 seats to get better. So like if you keep those basic 3 things in your mind, whatever is your 3 things, and you just weigh everything against those 3 things, that's all you need to do. Then life becomes very easy.
Well said, bro.
My
Well
life
said,
is
man.
so easy
Well
that
said.
way.
Well said.
Because I'm getting better, but what I got in return are just the best people ever. The best people. I have never felt lonely when I'm on tour. Which is the one thing every comedian bitches about, right? Like, I have to go alone. Never been lonely in my life. Never been lonely. I have had the most supportive, wonderful people who believed in me way more than I ever believed in myself, and still fucking do believe in me more than I believe in myself. And I don't need the 500 seats. You know what I mean? I'll get to the 500 seats if it ever happens. I don't really care if it doesn't happen. I'm so much happier with the people. Give me another 300 people instead.
Beautiful. Well said, man.
Yeah.
Well said, man. You got a friend right here. Bro.
Ah, man,
All
fuck
you
yeah,
got
man.
friends here, bro. You got friends here, bro. We will take care of you, bro. You got friends
I
here,
don't-
bro.
and-
For life.
And I don't know if you heard my other podcast. I don't know if you heard Aakash Mehta and Friends, the podcast. But like the whole idea of that, like I'm a fucking, that podcast is therapy, right? Have you guys seen any of the episodes?
Yeah.
That shit is therapy, bro. That shit is people coming and talking about how they feel and all. You know what I mean? And it's not the most popular podcast. It doesn't need to be the most popular podcast. The fact is, 2 people got together in a room and whoever the crew
That's all
was.
it needs,
Like,
yeah.
that's what it's for. It's not for the audience.
Bro.
Yeah, it
I
came
do
out
this
of you.
shit-
Like everything isn't
that's the
for
goal.
brand deals, right?
Yeah.
Bro, I do this shit for one person who is listening to us right now. All
Yeah.
our rant of 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is,
Yeah.
that one person still listening to you, me, Aayush, Yojana, X, all of us. So
Yeah.
that's what matters. All right.
Yeah.
We love you.
I love you too,
Thanks a
man.
lot,
This is
man.
such a
You
great
made
way to
it,
get to
man.
know some. And I feel like podcasts are a great way to get to know people because all of us have no choice but to listen to each other.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of a family event.
When is it happening? What's happening? And how long is he staying?
So yeah.
Oh yeah.
And when is he going to Pashupati?
Right.
Last.
So, okay,
Because before
Maybe
the flight to
Aarti.
India. Bhagan, please.
So Aakash is touring Nepal. We have 3 shows in 3 cities. First is in Chitwan, second is in Pokhara, and third is in Kathmandu.
September 30, yeah? So Kathmandu saying.
Kathmandu
sorry,
September 30. Chitwan ma in Tuesday.
Tomorrow, no? No, day
sorry,
after.
day after.
Monday, no?
Oh yeah.
The night this comes out.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
If we edit it on time.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh, there you
September
go. Awesome.
25th, Chitwanma, Lemon Lounge.
Paradiso.
Pokhara Paradiso, September 28th. Ani
Oh,
Kathmandu.
Academy Hall.
Oh, can I just say this out? Like, I don't know Apurva that well. But,
Bro, he's a legend.
no, all,
Yeah, all that,
it has
yeah,
nothing.
all that.
I don't know this person, so I don't know, right? All I'm saying, when I saw this photo, right?
Yeah.
I saw Yozana and I'm like, yeah, comic. And then I saw Aayush and I'm like, okay, yeah, he's doing the thing the thing. It's okay, yeah, comedian. What's up with Apurva's eyes, guys? Why is he dying? What happened when this photo was taken?
Like, let me ask you one question.
Yeah.
Does he or does he not look like Rahul Dua?
I mean, if Rahul Dua was about to murder someone in 3 days, like, I don't know, man. Like, maybe...
When is your photo from, bro?
This is a very old photo.
Yeah.
This is a very old photo. It's like 2019 or 18 or some shit.
That's not that old. Come on. That's
Yeah,
not
it is,
that
it is.
old.
So my photo is also from
Pre-COVID.
2019 actually.
Yeah.
Everybody's pre-COVID photos, except
Yeah.
Except Apurva. That's why. Yeah.
The thing with
Bro.
comics is we do one photo shoot for life.
Yeah.
And you see his eyebrows, man. Like the right wala eye, no, it just looks like, you know how some people's eyes, they I don't know, man. I feel like if I don't kill, he'll kill, like me. Like I something's up.
So
like
he has
wanna,
crazy eyes.
I want to give Apurva a hug. That's all I'm saying.
He needs it.
Apurva,
needs it, yeah.
I'm coming to give you a hug. I give good hugs.
All right. Love you, bro.
Love you, man. Thank you,
Welcome
man.
to Kathmandu.
It's been
All
a
right.
pleasure.
Meet a friend. All right.
It's so rare to do a podcast, and I wouldn't have said this if it was any other podcast. It's so rare to do one where you not only feel heard, but you also get to hear. You know what I mean? And many a times when you're giving an interview, it feels like you're talking to somebody who's out of their depth. You know what I mean? Like, because they've not done research or just not a conversationalist. But this has been such a smooth, wonderful experience. You're such a great host. I'm not surprised that you took a minute to go from 170 BPM to 96 because you are good at this, bro.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, man.
Very
Thank
kind
you
of
for having me.
You come anytime, bro.
Bro,
Right,
for
this
sure,
show,
man.
Come anytime, man.
For sure.
I'm gonna make sure that you come next time as well. Aayush, best of luck to you, and I'll support. Love you, Penny. All right.
you too.
X.
This program is brought to you by Vyas Studios.